after 40 years of suffering in my life and all the different ways I suffered, carrying that weight, mental health illnesses, the suicide attempts, and going through those experiences, and they're no longer a part of my life. Hi, I'm Jeffrey Saunders with the Pureness of Light Energy. As a child growing up, I lived through a lot of traumatic experiences. I lived through all the forms of abuse that a child can go through. Where I'm at today, I understand frequencies and vibrations that the human eye can't see. And I've been gifted since coming back from my near-death experience that I can see energy through my human eyes that is invisible to the human eyes. I went through a very beautiful experience. I shifted from the human mind, the human consciousness, the aliveness of thoughts created within that space, to then shifting over to the soul body, our light body of energy, soul's consciousness that will leave our human form when our life is over. In that moment, I told God I didn't want to die, but can you please show me the other side? In that moment, a portal window opened in front of me, and there was whiteness coming from it. I leaned up out of my body and I looked around and I seen a beautiful angelic room with pillars and vivid colors on the walls, chandeliers. And then I started staring off into a chandelier with all the bright light that was shining down on me. I know I went through an experience and it wasn't meant for me to remember. But after going through that experience, all of a sudden I could start hearing my mother crying and banging on the door to tell me to keep breathing, son, keep breathing. The ambulance is coming. She wasn't there, but it was made for me to believe she was there because my mother's been my rock in life of unconditional love. It's the only thing that brought me back from the beauty that I was being immersed into with the other side. In that moment, when I came back to my body, I started to breathe, and Spirit told me I was dead for 4 minutes laying there going through the experience of what I went through. In that moment, I sat up and I was shifted back over to the human mind, thinking of the thoughts in my mind of suffering again. Through that experience, I had a great awakening on showing me the truth to who I was within this human form, but I was still suffering. So in that moment, I started looking around and I could see spirits all moving around me in my apartment. And for a moment, I actually thought I was dead. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how I could see all these bodies of energy moving around, energy of animals walking through my apartment. So I started learning and growing with my gift to see the energy that the human eye can't see. And in my life, I worked thousands of hours through the different dimensions of different frequencies, of different vibrations that offer different experiences. And they are all attached to this earth plane to come here to learn, grow, and evolve in. Through the 1,000 hours of work since the spring, summer of 2019, I've dedicated my life to working with the other side. The first being that I started working with was my own healing guide. And then I went on to archangels, Jesus, ascendant masters, and then the higher evolved beings in the pureness of light. In my life today, I work with the highest beings of evolved light. They have taught me and shown me how to shift over and stay in the presence of my soul being within this human form. And now today in my life, I am giving back as I am the aliveness of my soul body of energy that is here to share the truth of the underlying experiences that are causing the harm here so that people can feel forgiveness for themselves and forgiveness towards others. And since going through the experiences on them showing me and healing me and removing those, I no longer suffer. I haven't suffered since 2019 with any mental health illness. I have no feelings of shame and guilt, hate or resentments towards anyone, because I have these understandings and I was released from the attachments of the energy that causes the suffering. So through all the work that I have done, I'm able to shift in full alignment to my soul being within the human form. I am not channeling other energy outside of myself, but rather shifting to the alignment to the soul consciousness within because of my experience of the near-death experience that I went through. And if you don't mind, I will shift over now and then I will speak from the alignment to the truth of who I am within this human form. Since being awoken and coming back to my human form and aligning through the work that my human form has done to be in alignment to the soul being of who I am, I've done much work in the lower dimensions of suffering. And through going through all the experiences of the different alignments, such as jealousy, codependency, sexual abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, narcissism, sinning, of pure sinning, torture, all these different frequencies and vibrations are attached to this human plane to learn, grow, and evolve in. Our past generations never had the opportunity to be healed because the human consciousness, and when I use the term consciousness of the human consciousness, it is the aliveness of thoughts that are created within that space. So through the past generations, they were not risen to understand frequencies and vibrations of energy. You can imagine how we have cell phones today. If you were to go back 50 years ago and say that you could FaceTime through thin air, to what would happen in that moment telling people you can FaceTime through thin air on a device in your hand, they would call you crazy and they would lock you up. It's understanding that there's energy of information moving through a different frequency, connecting from cell phone to cell phone. Our body of light energy, your soul being within your human form, is a body of energy, like a cell phone, and we can connect with one another instantly, just like FaceTime. After going through the dimensions of suffering that I went through, learning and growing on how they were suffering, why they were suffering, and the ways of how they got to where they were, it was because there were no healings that were provided within this earth plane yet in healing the energies that are attached to the experience here to remove it from those that are suffering. Our past generations never had the opportunity to be healed, and they passed on their suffering to their children, and their children passed it on to the next generation, and so forth, until now we are in the time of space to understand how to heal the frequencies and vibrations that are attached to the human form. In my life today, I have risen to a space of the pureness of light energy to be teaching and connecting to that high frequency of light energy that moved through me to heal me of those vibrations where my human form no longer suffers. And in my life today, I do not have any feelings that are attached to the thoughts of the past. When we heal the vibration of those experiences attached to our soul, the feeling is gone. We may have thoughts about the past, but when the feelings of that vibration are removed from our cell body, we no longer suffer. Not at least in the depths of suffering until the human form does its healing work to understand, to heal in a new way of feeling forgiveness for itself and towards others, such as I have been taught through the highest beings of light. So for those who are looking to raise their vibration to wealth and prosperity, if you carry the weight of the vibrations of energy and you have not done your healing work to remove yourself from those vibrations of energy, it is very hard to raise yourself up when you do not feel worthy or good enough. One must heal and do their healing work to remove themselves from the shame and guilt that they carry from their actions. The only reason why we harm ourselves and others is because of the carried weight of what was done to us. And a person must do their healing work for what that means for them to release themselves, to know that you are worthy, you are good enough, and you have always been. Law of attraction. Law of attraction, when you have frequencies and vibrations of energy of suffering attached to you, Law of attraction, while you are still in that vibration of being attached to your soul, you are going to draw more experiences to you of that suffering until you do your healing work, which rises you out of that vibration and releases you from that attachment. When we wonder why things keep happening over and over and over, it mainly stems from childhood. You have not done your healing work to remove yourself from those vibrations, throwing a blanket over it because you do not want to face it. That vibration is going to draw more experiences to you of the spectrum of possibilities that will happen from that frequency. So as you rise up in your life by healing the experiences of the past, that will release you from the lower frequencies and vibrations of law of attraction that will draw more experiences to you of that. Anytime when we can feel thinking is not good enough, I think I forgave him, or did I feel, or I felt that I forgave him, where you can feel that moving through you, where you're not being triggered. If we do not heal the vibrations of our past, we are going to have triggers. The triggers are the feelings that are coming up that are attached to your past experiences. And this is where triggers are formed. It's the energy within you attached to you of your past of suffering. So for those who throw a blanket over and do not want to face it, I understand what you're going through, as I went through it too in my life. But I spent 30 years with outside help that only ever did so much because the earth plane here did not have enough wisdom to understand on healing the frequencies and vibrations. So as you progress on your path, as you find forgiveness for yourself, for your actions, and understanding some of the things I've shared with you today, feeling forgiveness for yourself and understanding forgiveness for others, aligning to what I have shared, you can feel lighter within your being now if you are ready to forgive, because you must be ready to forgive. If you're not ready to forgive, then that is okay, but you will have more experiences you need to go through of that vibration of suffering, of the spectrum of possibilities that will align for you until it pushes you to do the work for what it means for you to rise up in your life. In my life today, I am not attached to the experiences of my past. I have so much love for myself today, and I have so much love for my friends of the relationships in the past that may have done harm to me. So as you move forward in your life, doing your healing work of the buried suffering of the past is what is going to rise your vibration up. Law of attraction in my life today, I am having many people reach out to me because I am in a higher vibration of my being. I do not have the attachments of the past. I do not have triggers in my life. I live through peace and calmness each day that moves through me. Now I am living on my higher path. Now I am feeling my purpose in my path. Well, how do we find our purpose? What feels good for you to do? What brings you joy and happiness in your life? To bring freedom and to lift and rise people up in my life is the greatest gift that I have in my life today. And as I am living this path, new opportunities are unfolding for me. And it's become a very beautiful journey after 40 years of suffering in my life and all the different ways I suffered, carrying that weight, mental health illnesses, suicide attempts, and going through those experiences. And they're no longer a part of my life. And they haven't been for 4 years with no medications, no nothing, just freedom. And that's all that I feel in my life today, knowing my higher self of my God extension, because I am the higher self of the human form that I am living in. He has my back every step of the way. He always has. Our higher self of our God extension that we're extended from to come here to learn, grow, and evolve is always with us. Our light energy is his light energy as well. Coming into this earth plane, he knew the experiences we were going to go through, as we did as well, because we wanted to come here and gain the wisdom to understand the earth plane with the different frequencies and vibrations that it offers. And when you rise back up to that connection, you can see and feel your God being. You are connected to your God being. You feel the flow of energy. I have a mini series that I created, free to the public, that teaches you presence. I am in the present moment. I am not within my thinking mind. And I suffered all of my life with severe ADHD. When you learn to be present, it freed me from my ADHD after 40 years of suffering with it. The next one is feeling your body of energy. And as I feel my body of energy swaying within this human form that I am speaking from, of that aliveness, it gave me something to focus on as I created it in step 2 out of the 6-part mini-series. Then connecting to the pureness of all that is that moves through me that I've risen to. My vibration and frequency is much higher. Understanding the energies around us. There are always energies around us, different energies, just observing. When we learn presence, we are just observing and being aware. We are observing and being aware of our energy within and the energy around us. So when people have anxiety in their life, social anxiety, I learned in my life, because I had it, you pull your energy field in that surrounds you, typically around 4 feet. And when you pull your energy field in just by the intention, I have not suffered with social anxiety ever since learning that. Then it's learning and touching and understanding the energies around us through another guided meditation. And then I have one connecting to your higher self of your God extension. Thank you for all those who have watched today. And if you need to reach out to me, please email me at thepurenessoflight@gmail.com, or you can find me on TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, and my Facebook group page, Jeffrey Saunders with the Pureness of Light Energy. Bye for now.